Hi, I'm Jackie Cruz, and I'm so glad to be here with you. I serve as the Vice President of Advancement and Development for Hartnell College, but more importantly, I'm a proud mother of 3 amazing girls. I've called the Salinas Valley home for 36 years, and I truly love this community we share. Working in education, I've seen firsthand how technology opens doors and creates opportunities. At Hartnell College, we fully embrace the benefits of technology while making it a priority to teach students how to stay safe online. The video you're about to see was spearheaded by the Child Abuse Prevention Council in partnership with Monterey County Office of Education. It was created for our parents and caregivers in our community to raise awareness about the potential dangers of technology and online access. While we want our children and youth to experience all the incredible benefits of technology, it's just as important to understand the risk and how to keep our children safe.
Well, at first I didn't think it was that bad, until you realize how open everything is without us parents knowing. Access to so many different things, scary things, that we think they're just watching a movie or playing a game or FaceTiming someone, but we exactly don't know who that person is. It's very scary. Yes, as a parent, I've had an experience with one of my sons. It was just a screenshot.
So he sends her a picture and he asks for one back. She don't send it back. And then she sends this message talking about send me $500 or I'm gonna post it to your social media. The little boy was in such a panic trying to get this money for these people. We need to tell our kids whether it happens, you let us know, because if you do get the money, he came up with the money, but they wanted more. They're always gonna want more.
Platforms like Snapchat, Instagram. Sometimes we've seen some cases on through Discord.
The one we would have the most trouble with has been Snapchat. Things are getting sent, people are screenshotting them, keeping them, and then forwarding it on to whoever it is.
We see a lot of online cyberbullying happening amongst children at school, online, as well as what we call revenge pornography, where children may consent to photographs being taken of them that are later shared with people who shouldn't have access or who were not given consent to view those photos.
Posting videos of fights that are actively happening while they're in real time or that have already happened, or people are really getting injured, making fun of people if they're gay or their ethnicity or their race. And there's ways that you can color over photos, and a lot of gang stuff is online as well. And then unfortunately, children do not realize that when they are passing pictures or inappropriate videos, they are in possession of childhood porn, which is a crime.
They exchanged social media accounts, and after that, the traffickers started sending this youth false advertisements for modeling agencies. They could likely be coerced into maybe posting nude or posting in a sexual seductive way, and that's how the trafficking can start. A victim can be anybody, and a trafficker can be anybody as well.
There are videos that exist that mess with people's heads and get them to think certain things, that devices are talking to them. They become friends with the device, thinking it's an actual human. AI nowadays is horrible. We know of cases that have happened across the United States where kids have committed suicide thinking that they are going to meet their AI friend because of that relationship they built with a device.
The biggest complaint that I have from parents is fights over the phones. The kids won't give up their phones. And in that case, I always tell them you need to turn off their service and set some ground rules before you allow them to keep using their phones.
What I notice is sometimes our parents don't always know how to use those applications and that social media. And what that does for kids is there's not a lot of supervision and oversight from parents. And I have seen that because parents aren't aware, they don't always know who their kids are interacting, what it is that they're doing online. And so that can be pretty unsafe. It places our kids in our community at risk, so they may be actually contacting adults, and before the kid knows it, they're really engaging in an unsafe relationship with somebody online, and parents may not be aware, or they might find out, further down the line.
The ease of access to drugs. I mean, legitimately, it's a text type of message. You know, it's a message, an Instagram or Snapchat message away. Drugs are that accessible, and the misinformation around them is equally as accessible.
You can buy anything you want online. I can Google buy fentanyl online right now, and I can find a pharmaceutical company in Asia that will ship it to me. And they are so brazen that they will actually offer a free replacement shipment if it gets seized in customs. Essentially what's happening is you have legitimate pharmaceutical companies in other countries marketing to American consumers that you can buy drugs online. They're often sold as research chemicals, and these may be legitimate pharmaceutical manufacturers. The issue is that our law enforcement has no jurisdiction in other nations.
And excessive use is completely normal online. Music that the kids are listening to, everybody's doing it according to what they're seeing on social media and what they're hearing, and that's not the case. I think realizing that it's not normal for 14-year-olds to be experimenting with amphetamines, experimenting with fentanyl. But social media makes it look like it is. And our kids need us to have those really difficult conversations with them so they are making informed decisions, even the informed decision whether or not they're gonna look at something online.
I would say social media use is a huge thing. There's so many dangers out there. There's so many apps we as parents don't even know about. Every 5 minutes there's a new app. There's something new to download, and parents can't keep up, and it's becoming a real problem.
I think social media and technology makes it easier for pedophiles to have access to children. It also creates a situation where children have their guards down when they are engaging in communications online, since it's a primary method of communication nowadays. And so they're not expecting when they go into a chat room to speak with strangers that the people on the other side are actually adults pretending to be kids.
So I think we have to realize that the world is full of vices, and the best thing we can do is to teach our children how to live with the vices rather than just say no. And I think we have to call out social media for what it is, which is that it's found a way to maximize human attention to make money from advertising. That is what social media is, as simple as that. With that, unfortunately, because of our survival instincts, we are wired to pay more attention to negative emotion than positive emotion. And so when it comes to social media, they've actually found that rage is the most engaging emotion and keeps people on the platforms for the longest time possible. So I think the conversation around social media is, what is it? It's not a free service. As they say in Silicon Valley, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
The biggest threat I find that our youth have with online use is the lack of monitoring, in the sense of the amount of time that they're behind a screen, the exposure that they're having to so many people who could potentially be predators, who are trying to expose them to content that's before their time frame.
Conversations are difficult, it's uncomfortable, there's gonna be conflict, potentially. That's our job. It is genuinely our job to do uncomfortable things as parents. That's what we have to do.
Have a dialogue with them. You're on your phone, what are you looking at? Let them explain to you some of the things they're doing online. Let them tell you what this app does. Oh, I see Discord. What is Discord used for? You know, what is Snapchat used for? You know, you have a Dropbox email account. You know, these are important things to talk about. And if we don't engage our kids, A, it shows we don't care, and B, it puts us way behind in trying to help our youth when they're on social media, when they're on their cell phones, when they're on their iPads or Xbox. So talking to them, just communicating with your children, I think is by far the best thing we as parents can do.
Understanding that we are safe adults for our youth and making sure that we give them grace. If there is this mishap, it's going to be a lot more helpful than if we react from an anger part instead of from the heart.
The rule in my home is, if I don't know how to use it, then you're not going to have it. I need to be able to navigate the iPhone, the iPad, your PS5, because all these devices have access to the internet.
I can tell you that my daughter has a phone that I control. I still control it. It's not that I don't trust my daughter. I trust my daughter. I don't trust the outside world. I don't know who is wanting to take advantage of her. And that is what I have to do as a parent. That is what I am here for.
If you allow them to just be on their phone, they're going to be on their phone. So I would say sport activities, clubs, having them in youth groups, I think that's very, very important to distract them from always needing to be on the screen. And I always call it screen time for parents, like you need to limit the screen time with them. And remember, technology is advancing, so if you don't advance with technology, it's really hard to understand how to use parental controls or the devices if you don't keep up with technology yourself. And you want to speak to other parents and learn from their experiences, because other people out here are asking for help as well. Most of the parents learn other things from other parents and kind of learn from those good and bad experiences.
We actually need to teach them how to use the internet, okay? We tell our kids, stay away from strangers. What is social media? Mostly a bunch of strangers. Who's on the internet? A bunch of strangers.
We need to teach them digital citizenship. We need to teach them how to be upstanders. We need to talk to them about reporting and how reporting is not snitching, because reporting saves lives. We have to provide the safe space for our students to feel comfortable to come and talk to us. It's not about spying and looking through their phone. It's about harnessing a good conversation, what's going on, and not letting that conversation ever fade from the dinner table.
Making sure the child understands not to share personal information and not to give them your phone number, your email address, your school, your location, your city, what your schedule is, what you do after school. Any of that information can be used to locate your child, manipulate your child.
Why don't we tell our kids, you have a phone now, you have a device. There is a possibility that you could meet with or interact with somebody who has bad intentions. These are some of the signs that you should look for.
We talk about how we cannot be bystanders in this day and age. We have to be upstanders if we want to see a change in our community. And it's an effort that is collective. It's not just an effort that's going to come from admin, from teachers, or from the coaches. It needs to come from everybody.
Now, there are ways that you can make the internet safer for your kid, such as parental controls or setting up accounts for them. And that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. The internet is like any other skill. I teach my daughter, when is a website secure? How can you tell? I teach my daughter, how can you tell if this is a spam email? It is a skill set like any other. Teaching our kids internet safety is as fundamental to safety as teaching our kids how to look both ways before we cross the street.
Thanks to our caring community partners for coming together to share valuable insights and resources. At the end of this video, you'll find a QR code that links to all the resources mentioned, along with the video itself, so you can watch it over and over again and share it with others. Thank you for joining us in this important effort to keep Monterey County children safe.